Well, let's get to the topic that we were going to talk about at the beginning here that I was waiting for you. Actually, there's a couple of things I was waiting for you on, but the big one, we got to get out of the way. Let's be honest, you and I don't want to talk about it here. We got to go ahead and talk about the Super Bowl. As you see, Saquon Barkley holding the Lombardi Trophy. Let's be honest, was something the Giants fans you wanted to see for years. Just not this way.
Yeah.
It's not this way. And before we even get involved in it, I will say this. Congratulations to the Eagles. Congratulations to the Eagles fans. It honestly, it was a well played game on their part. And I don't know what the hell happened, because it's funny. I saw a thing on TikTok today, Osi Umenyiora talking about when the Giants played Brady in the first Super Bowl matchup and how he was pointing, and they knew based on his pointing when he was going to snap the ball. And apparently he had a tell that Osi figured out and let everybody know. And that's why the Giants were able to get to him so often. I got to wonder what the hell's going on with Mahomes. Like, was there a tell? Because
it seems like it when you sit there and put up like a pretty much the sack record
on a 4-man rush. There wasn't blitzing or anything crazy. It was a 4-man rush. Like, wow.
And it's not like the Chiefs have a bad offensive line. It's just
they did that night.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. They got some good players, but they definitely don't have the Eagles' offensive line. Not that anyone does. Has a really good offensive line here, but they don't have it. So I think that the thing as a Giants fan, I think it's just during the game, I was thinking to myself, I wonder how John Mara's sleeping tonight.
Yeah.
Because this was his worst nightmare. Like, really, this was his worst nightmare, is not only Saquon going to the Eagles, but Saquon going to the Eagles and winning a ring his very first year. First year. Now, as a Giants fan, I'll tell you this. That's not my worst nightmare. My worst nightmare is what the Giants did this year. I care much more about the Giants succeeding than the Eagles failing.
100%.
Do I want the Eagles to fail? Of course. Of course. Like, I still can't believe they won the Super Bowl. I thought they would lose. I really did. There was not much doubt in my mind they would lose. A lot of young players. You got a team, obviously, the Chiefs, that's used to going to the Super Bowl. They've been there 5 out of the last 6 years. You had good defense versus good defense, and usually when that happens, you have 1 or 2 plays made by someone that makes a difference. But the offense for the Chiefs just could not get going. You can't even blame the Chiefs defense. The Chiefs defense, for at least the first half of the game, was just doing what they can, but Mahomes kept putting them in bad scenarios, and they kept being left on the field for too long, and it just...
Yeah, what did he have? 50 yards in the first half?
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
Crazy.
Absolutely ridiculous. And it's funny because, I said going into this, if Mahomes wins a 4th Super Bowl, does he catapult himself to the second best quarterback in the, at the very least, the Super Bowl era? But overall, even, you could say. And after this performance, I got to wonder.
You have to take a step back.
I got to wonder that. Like, is he back with, like, the guys like the Peyton Mannings and the, Joe Montanas and, some of the guys that, that people like to talk about as the Mount Rushmores of quarterbacks, but not in Brady's categories. Brady is in a category by himself. Like it or not, he is.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really think, I really do think that he's taking that step back because of this game. And I also hate saying that because, again, it's the Eagles that did it. But I'm trying to, take my Giants fandom off for a second and call it like it is. Like I said, I think that was just an amazing game by the Eagles. I hate to say it, I really do. Though I do think it's an absolute ridiculous thing to put Jalen Hurts as the MVP. Like, no. The defense won you that game, not the offense.
100%.
Pick somebody from the defense and call it a day. And I mean, the Chiefs did what we said they were going to do. They stopped the run, and they forced Jalen Hurts to pass. We just didn't anticipate the Eagles defense doing what they did, I think, but because we both expected a close game.
Yeah, and
That was not close.
in KC was, I mean, typically on the year have been really good against the secondary.
Yeah. I think I'm just the most glad that as a Eagle hater, the biggest story right now from yesterday is that halftime show. Because people are talking more about that than the actual game. It's become like fights on social media because apparently you can't say a performance sucked without somebody taking it personal. Apparently, you
Well,
know.
I'm pretty sure Drake said it sucked.
Well, that's a whole separate thing. But
Yeah,
I wasn't a fan of it personally. I just it's not my type of music. I'll put it that way there. I think, there's plenty of hip hop stuff I like. It's not a hip hop thing. Like I liked when they did, when they had Dre and they had, Snoop and 50 Cent being upside down and that kind of stuff. I like last year with Usher, Little John coming out. Like it's just that particular style of hip hop, I guess, just not my thing. It's like the new like school like auto tune era, I feel like. And
yeah.
it's just not my thing. Like, but yeah, it
Give
is
it
what
another
it is.
10 years, Darren Wall will be the halftime show.
I think I've just reached that age where I think I've just reached that age where I'm like, get off my lawn. This is just I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, isn't Paul McCartney in the stands?
I'm like, how come, like, you talk about all these classic, like, great, like, legends that have gone there. I'm like, I was like,
Yeah.
over my head, I'm like, how come Metallica's never done, like, a halftime show?
But even like
That,
you saw like Prince did it one year, Michael Jackson did it one
Tom
year,
Petty.
like well, they brought back a lot of the older guys, let's be honest. At one
Yeah.
point after the whole boob incident, they went ahead and got all the old classic rockers they could possibly. The Who did it one year and all. Like I said,
Yeah.
it just wasn't my thing. To me, it sucked, even though, like I said, I get there's an art to it and people like the message and the art of it, but the music itself I just didn't like. And the sound quality was bad.
Yeah.
The sound quality was really bad, I thought. But, again, as a Giants fan, I'm just glad that that's what, was the topic there of the story. So I don't have to hear about the Eagles and how it sucks that the Giants let Saquon go because that's been the narrative all year. Instead, everybody's arguing over the halftime show, which is just hilarious to me. Deb brings up a point as well I want to talk about
Yep.
there because, yeah, a lot of people are upset with Strahan over waving the Eagles flag and singing Fly, Eagles, Fly. I got mixed feelings on it personally.
Yeah. I mean, you got to talk about, like, this guy, like, obviously, he's one of the best Giants that's played on, put on the blue. At the end of the day, like, you have to, like, pay respect. Like, held the sack record as a Giant, like, retired as, on top of his game. Like, he's supported the Giants through a lot of things, but he's also now a broadcaster for Fox.
Yep.
So he's not in Giants media; he's in Fox media. Like,
Yeah.
so he kind of has to follow the wave. Like, if he doesn't want like the Chiefs to win, like,
Well, he didn't even say that. What he was doing, and this is where I think people need to separate, they understand. We as fans will always, always sit there and say, point blank, we're Giants fans. We hate the Eagles. We hate the Cowboys. That's just the way it is. Strahan was a player. There's a difference. He didn't grow up a Giant fan. He doesn't bleed the blue and red in that regard. He put it all on the field. I mean, before somebody tries to twist my words around, he put it all on the field. I'm not knocking the man in any way, shape, or form in that regard. But he didn't grow up probably a Giants fan. He went into it. He became part of the Giants culture. And you know who else did? Saquon, who he took a lot of time with and got to know very well. They're friends. So we can't sit there and blast a player, a former player, for supporting a friend. Same as I know people got ticked off that, Daniel Jones was in a box supporting him as well. I have no problem with it.
no,
None.
it's the same thing with Malik Neighbors going to see Jalen Daniels. Like,
yeah. If you want to stop them, you know how you stop them? Put a goddamn better product in the field and stop the Eagles from getting in the Super Bowl. Beat the Eagles in this regular season more than once in the last decade. Like, that's on the Giants. That's not on the Eagles. That's not on Strahan. That's on the Giants. And point blank, we all knew that there was a good possibility that if Saquon went, he was going to the Eagles. We all knew it going into it. And they allowed it to happen. And again, I'm not even pissed off about that move. I'm really not, because I think like I've said it before, I'll say it again. The Giants would not have won the Super Bowl with Saquon. And you don't build a team around a running back. A running back is the last piece of the puzzle, so to speak, which it clearly was for the Eagles. You can make the case that it was for the Ravens with Derrick Henry, because they were a lot better on offense this year with having him in the mix as well. But you can't sit there and blast a former player for supporting a friend of his that he met, by the way, by mentoring him when he was on your team. We got to separate that, guys. Not take it so personal. It ain't personal. Wasn't Strahan was like, hey, screw the Giants, fly Eagles fly, started ripped his shirt and had a jersey underneath. Like it wasn't that extreme, guys. And you could sense his hesitation in doing, because he knew what he was going to do today. He knew. He's not
100%,
stupid.
he's not stupid.
Strahan's very calculated. You know what the crazy thing is? He's also in the news today.
A lot.
He's very calculated.
I was going to say that.
Very calculated. So again, congrats to the Eagles. We will be the mature ones to say that. We will definitely congratulate Barkley. We have no feelings of resentment towards him whatsoever. But next season, Giants better put some smack down on the Eagles, because I'm tired of seeing them succeed. I'm tired of seeing them succeed in ways that we could if the Giants did smart things.
You're not good at
build
that.
up a team the right way. We're not doing it. We haven't done it for years. But we got continuity, at least. Continuity by keeping the same coach. Continuity by keeping the same GM. Let's get some continuity.
Continuity by losing seasons.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just a really fed up fan at this point, and I know a lot of y'all are, and rightfully so, point blank. So it's your feelings are valid. So,
if you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.